Hello everyone and welcome to the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. This is Dawn Polly from D Polly Designs and I'm so glad you could join me. Today I'm using some products from the Spellbinders Home for the Holidays collection. This is the 3D embossing folder Argyle Plaid I'll be using. I love how versatile it is. It's not just for Christmas, you could use it really anytime. And I'm going to pair it up with the Christmas greeting sentiments. I love how you get a variety of sentiments and the shadows with them. And then for the main attraction on the card, I'm using the adorable candy canes and holly die set. So let's get to it. The first thing I did was die cut all of my pieces. I die cut two each of the candy canes from white cardstock, the holly leaves from two different colored green cardstock, and the berries and stripes for the candy canes from red cardstock. I do recommend you keep the stripes for the candy canes in separate piles after you die cut them so that you know which stripes go to which candy cane. I also die cut a 3.5-inch oval from white cardstock. Then I'm going to emboss a piece of red cardstock. You can spray your cardstock with water if you want to, but I didn't. And then I just place it in the embossing folder. And then I'm going to run it through the Spellbinder 6 die cut machine. I'll show you the sandwich that I'm going to use for it. If you own the Spellbinder Platinum 6, then this universal plate system is a must-have in your craft room. The base plate that it comes with tells you how to make each sandwich for whatever you're trying to do. I'm doing the 3D embossing, so I'm going to follow the instructions for that. It says to put your embossing plate on top of the base plate, and then it says to put your D plate on top of the embossing folder, and then you run it through your die cut machine. And look at how nice that came out. It has so much texture to it. I love it. Next, I'm going to take some Distress Oxide ink, Rustic Wilderness, and I'm putting it all around the edges of the holly leaves. This will kind of give it a two-tone look, which I think kind of adds to the look of the leaves. I'm going to start to assemble the pieces for my card. First, I stacked two of the candy canes on top of each other to give the candy canes some sturdiness. You don't really have to do this if you don't want to, but I wanted them to be double stacked. Then I'm going to use my jewel picker and put all of the red candy cane stripes onto the candy canes. I like to do this first just in case I put one in the wrong spot and then I might have to move them around. The only ones that are a little different are the ones on the top of the candy canes, but they all have a spot on the candy cane and you can tell if you put them in the wrong spot or not. Plus you can look at the back of the packaging for help. Once all of my pieces are in place, I just use my liquid glue to adhere them down. Again, just make sure that you keep your stripes separated into the correct piles. One for the candy cane that faces the right, and then one for the candy cane that faces to the left, because the stripes are made for that specific candy cane. And look at how nice that came out. I love this. It's just adorable. Okay, let's start to assemble the card. I have an A2 sized white card base, a piece of black cardstock I trimmed a little less than 5.5 by 4.25, and I trimmed my embossed background down to 4 by 5.25. I'm going to use the Merry Christmas sentiment from the Christmas greeting die set, and to help me save on paper, I'm cutting the sentiments and the shadow from the black cardstock that I'm using for the background. No one will ever see that you die cut anything from it. And then I'm going to adhere the black cardstock to the back of the embossed background. And then I'm going to adhere the entire background to an A2 sized white card base. And then I'm going to adhere the white oval onto the front of the card. I wanted to add some black speckles onto the front of the card, so I put some Gina K black amalgam ink onto my glass mat, and then I spray it with some water. You can use Distress Oxide inks if you want to. I just grabbed this because it was the closest thing to me, and it works just as well as the Distress Oxide inks. I use a small paintbrush and I just flick it onto the paper until I have the amount of specks that I want. Next, I adhere the candy canes onto the white oval. And then I adhere the holly leaves onto the candy canes with my liquid glue. And I just keep kind of hold them in place to make sure that they stick to the candy cane really well. Next, I adhere the 3 red berries onto the berry base, and then I'm going to adhere the berries onto the holly leaves. I die cut the words Merry Christmas from some white cardstock because I decided I wanted white words, and then I adhere them onto the black shadow die cuts. And then I put small foam squares onto the ends of the sentiment. I don't put any foam squares in the middle of the sentiment because the words are going to lay over the candy canes, and because the candy canes are raised up, only the ends of the sentiment needs the foam tape. Okay, at this point I realized I threw away the little circle for the top of the eye in Christmas, but no big deal. I'm using some of the Spellbinders self-adhesive pearls to accent the card, and I added one of the pearls to dot the eye, and I think it worked out perfectly. I could have die cut a new word, but I figured why not just add a pearl? And that's going to complete my card for today. I hope you enjoyed watching me use the Spellbinders Home for the Holiday collection. I want to thank you for joining me on the Scrapbook Pal YouTube channel. I would love for you to leave a comment below and let me know what you think of the card. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the Scrapbook Pal YouTube channel and their other social media platforms so you don't miss out on any great inspirational videos. Also, check out their website for any new releases they might have. And as always, I want to thank you for spending your time with me, and I hope you have a wonderful day.